You should have seen my face when Jang Schreiber showed up because I was not expecting him to be on the show at all. I only knew Ungi was going to be on the show, but if you watch Boys Planet, you know what happened between the two of them. Of course, it could have been evil editing, but anyways. Hi, today I'm going to be talking about Universeleague, which is the new survival show boy group sequel to Universe Tickets, and I went into this show knowing absolutely nothing except for Ungi was going to be on it, and I was quite surprised by their performances, so I'm looking forward to what is going to happen next in the upcoming episodes. For my first impressions, I'm actually really surprised at how good of an MC Jay Park is, because I was not expecting him to be full of energy. Whereas on other survival shows, the MCs are usually really boring. They all talk with this exact same tone, and it's easy to listen to. But when you keep listening to it, they kind of drone on, and they fade into the background. But it was nice to see a change of pace with a new type of MC, because Jay Park's attitude is completely different from the other survival show MCs that I've watched. And I've seen a lot of survival shows. As for the mentors, I love Wavy, and I'm honestly so glad that Ten is a mentor because he is so good at everything, literally. He deserves to be a teacher. But I was surprised to see that Yang Yang was chosen as a mentor. Yang Yang's my bias in Wavy, but I did not expect him to be a mentor. And I didn't really see him being good in that role, but maybe he will surprise me in the future episodes, I don't know. For the other mentors, Chang-seop, of course, he's a given as an amazing vocalist from B2B, so I'm sure he will do amazing. I know he will do amazing. And for Yu-gyum and the other guy, El Capitan, I never heard of him, but the songs that he produced are really good. So if he continues with this kind of work, I hope that he brings that energy to the songs for this debut group. All of the performances were really good. I want to point out Siren because that song is the hardest to perform out of all the other songs that were shown. And I think that that group of trainees was really good. Especially Steven. He stood out because he was just amazing. On to the entrances. You should have seen my face when Jang Schreiber showed up because I was not expecting him to be on the show at all. I only knew Ungi was going to be on the show, but if you watch Boys Planet, you know what happened between the two of them. Of course, it could have been evil editing, but anyways. I really hope he actually improved on his skills compared to Boys Planet, because some of the other trainees from previous seasons on the new boy group survival shows now are not that great. Like, they haven't improved since a year has passed from Boys Planet. I also did not expect Kyungho from TO1 or 2 to be on the show, and what he said made me really sad when he was questioned about anybody he knew on the show.
한 명 있긴 한데 굳이 언급을 없는 걸로.
Definitely predict that there's gonna be some sort of mission where Ungi and Kyungho come together as a team and they have some sort of dispute or some discussion, because survival shows love to do that type of reunion, kind of what happened between them kind of situation. It made me really sad when Ungi said that he wasn't close with any of the previous members.
사이가 안 좋다기보다 저는 친해요라고 말할 수 있는 사람은 없어요.
I assume he might be a little bit close with Sungmin because they were on Boys Planet together, but I guess it just shows that that's the reality of K-pop, because if you think about it, K-pop is just a bunch of strangers coming together to sing and dance, and it's a business, so there's nothing you can do about that. If people don't get along, then they don't get along. It's not like you can force people to be together. Especially if the results from the group aren't doing well. That might make the situation even worse. they might hate each other even more. From what Ungi said, it seems like they just naturally grew distant after he left the group. But what Kyungho said made it seem like there's something more to it. But who knows? I really think success can play a factor into how well a group does together. But obviously you can't do that much. Because if you know, Infinite was a really popular second generation group. And when their contract ended, Hoya just left the group. He didn't discuss with his members or anything. He didn't give them his new phone number. He just left the group without saying anything. During their showcase for a 6-person comeback, Uyeon, a member from the group, he said that he wished that Hoya would contact him because he never got his new phone number and he wished that they could just talk again.
저는 호야 씨랑 연락한 지는 조금 됐고요. 마지막으로 연락한 게 언제더라?
지금 많이 서운하셨군요. 두 분이 연락하셨다 그래서
두 분이 갑자기 저한테 호야 연락처 바꾼 거 알아? 라고 물어보더라고요. 근데 안 알려주셨어요, 호야 씨가.
아이고야.
그래서 조금 서운하더라고요.
So clearly they were not on that great of terms if Hoya didn't even care to give him a phone number so that they could stay in contact. I mean, they were working together for 7 years and they lived together for 7 years. But for some people, I guess that means not much. You never know. And this was back in 2018, but they haven't mentioned him since then, so I assume they just, of course, grew distant and nothing has been heard between the two groups since. So I guess it makes sense, but it's just the sad reality of things. Okay, voting for this show is insane. Because why are there 3 different types of ways to vote? There's 2 apps and 1 website, and the voting percentages are different for each different platform. So I don't understand what SBS expects the fans to do, because 3 different platforms is way too much, and that's a lot of work. One of them is 70%, another is 15%, and another is 50%. I don't understand why they made the voting this way, because it's way too complex for a survival show. For Starlight Boys, you only have to vote on 1 app, and it's only 1 click. For Project 7, you had to vote for 2 things at a time to have your vote count. But for this, 3 different apps, that is just way too much. Really hope they change it, but I doubt that will happen. Some trainees that stood out to me from the first episode performances are of course Ungi, because he is so experienced and good at knowing what he's doing. He knows that he's cute. I also liked Stephen and Pakan. Both of them also have experience, and Pakan is a really good vocalist. Also, another good vocalist is JL. He's the Filipino person, and I think he was in a previous Filipino group, so he's also really great. And last but not least, Chien. I'm so bad at pronouncing his name, but side note, Chien reminded me of somebody, and I couldn't put my finger on it, and then it hit me that he looks like Camden from Boys Planet, or Camden from Ampersand 1. I swear they could be brothers. Camden looks like the Poe plushie, and the Poe plushie looks like Chien. And all 3 of them look like they could be brothers, like a little family. So I think Camden has the triplets now. I also watched their extra content on YouTube. I highly recommend watching the Of Course game because Yule is so funny on that. And also the Pose Copy game. There you can see some chaos with Ungi, of course, and he's hilarious. I'm looking forward to the upcoming episodes because the trainees are so talented and I just know the performances are gonna be really good. Let me know if you're also watching this show because I would love to discuss it with somebody in the comments because I have nobody to talk about this with. So let me know who you're rooting for and if you're watching. Bye! You suck. Did you actually practice? You do not deserve to be on stage. Hi! Today I'm back to talk about episode 2 of Universeleague, and this episode was... The episode starts off with the bench auditions, where the remaining trainees who weren't chosen to be on the teams were given another chance to audition, and they had to spread out on the stage to wait for their chance for the mentors to come up to them and ask them to audition again. Now, I can't imagine how nervous these trainees must have been because they had to perform in front of everybody and the mentor is standing right in front of them evaluating how well they're doing. And for this reason, I applaud Koo Han-seo, who was the first trainee shown, who danced and sang immediately when the mentor asked him to do so. And of course, he passed because he's talented and he was confident in his skills. There were quite a few funny moments that made me laugh during the bench auditions. Like, for example, Yang from the rhythm team. They passed a trainee and that trainee immediately crouched down and started crying. And Yang, who saw this, he looked at the trainee and he said, "Oh!" And then he turned around and left to see another trainee. I don't know why that was so funny to me. And my absolute favorite moment throughout the entire bench auditions was Chang-seop. He was going up to the trainees and immediately he said, "Sing the national anthem." And the trainees would just start singing the national anthem. I've heard it's actually quite common to sing the national anthem during K-pop auditions, but I don't know why I found it so funny that Chang-seop just had the trainees singing the national anthem out of nowhere. And I just loved that moment so much. And of course, the highlight of the entire bench audition was Nam Do-yoon because he was so confident in himself even though he's not a great singer or dancer. And when he finally passed after attempting multiple times to be on a team, Ten, who auditioned him at least twice, he said, "Oh, darn it. Like, you had the chance to pass him multiple times." Honestly, if I was Nam Do-yoon, I wouldn't have been able to do it because he is so brave to just do what he's doing even though he knows that he ain't the best at singing or dancing. On to the first mission performances. I thought the rules were quite interesting. If a trainee receives 2 yellow cards, they will be eliminated from the show. And for this performance, first place is safe from any yellow cards. Second place gets 3 yellow cards. And third place gets 6 yellow cards. 6 is a crazy number because that's basically half of the entire team. There's 14 of them. 6 of them will get yellow cards. That means half the team will be on the brink of elimination for the next round. And I'm quite interested to see what's gonna happen to the team composition when they're uneven because I assume they're gonna keep 7 as the main number, but what's gonna happen with the bench players? Now, a side note, it's a little pet peeve of mine, but I swear these trainees always mention an Avengers team. Like, please stop! The last time I've seen an actual Avengers team on a survival show competition was during the Produce series. And ever since then, there has not been an actual Avengers team that lives up to that name. They just be calling Avengers team for any team that is slightly good. It's not true. Not all the teams are Avengers. Please, stop. The first team to start is Team Rhythm, and they are covering Wavy's Give Me That. And I've watched survival shows before, so I know that these trainees are not given a lot of time to practice before they actually have to perform on stage. And for this team, they were given 2 days to practice before they had to get their parts assigned to them. And I don't know if that's really effective or not, but in the end, it worked out for them because they were really good during their performance. But of course, when the mentors came to judge them after their 2 days of practice, they had to have their dramatic moments. Now, these aren't their exact words, but the typical, "You suck. Did you actually practice? You do not deserve to be on stage." Basically the typical comments that you would see. And of course, the mentors have to mention that sometimes they only have 3 days to learn an entire new song before they have to film a music video. And I understand that they are saying this to tell the trainees how serious they have to be for this job, but I think it's just unnecessary stress that it's giving them. Also, I was confused with the editing during this episode because why was the bench team shown in the practice videos? But they're just there. We know nothing about what they're doing. Like, it would have been nice if there was a little explanation before the mission started what the bench team was going to be doing. Because the entire time I assumed that they would be performing the exact same song as the main team, but according to the preview for the next episode, that's not the case. Anyways, the bench team was ignored the entire episode, so it was really weird. Now watching Rhythm Team's performance, it made me a little sad because I just remembered that Wavy used to be a 7-member group, but now they're 5, unofficially or officially 5. Yikes. Of course, their performance was the best out of the 3, and JL is obviously main vocal material. Others that stood out are Steven and Siren for their good vocals, and for rapping, Juwon was actually really good. On to Team Beat. They are covering Girls Never Die by Triple S. And honestly, I was surprised that they would be covering a girl group song because on survival shows, boys covering girl group songs are usually the worst. I don't remember any good cover of a girl group song by boys on a survival show. And this team proved me right again. However, during their practice, I loved how Ungi immediately knew the meaning behind the song and he immediately gave ideas about how they should do the performance in order to share their message for the song. And it just shows how he's very passionate about being an idol and that he loves girl group songs. But their practice was full of drama because of a certain somebody who did not get along with the rest of the team. It honestly seemed like Park Ji-hoon just did not care to be there at all and he had no passion to be an idol. I don't even know why he's on this show because he's not even trying. You might think it's evil editing and that might be possible, but the footage that they showed clearly says otherwise. Because while the other teammates were practicing, he would just be walking around, looking in the mirror, touching his hair, not doing anything productive. The worst part was when he was called out for singing off beat when his part is supposed to be sung on beat. And instead of fixing his mistake, he doubled down and believed that his part was still off beat. And even worse was that Anyul revealed that they had 2 weeks to practice and he was still singing off beat. What are you doing, bro? Ji-hoon clearly can't sing on beat and he can't dance really good either. He's even mentioned himself that it's like his first time singing and dancing, but he's somehow trying to act smart with these experienced trainees that he knows better than them, and honestly, his attitude made no sense to me. And later on, he had a private conversation with El Capitan, who sounded like he was crying or something, and he was getting scolded because El Capitan kept hearing things about Ji-hoon that were clearly not good, and he told him to go apologize to his teammates. After this talk, I thought we would get a scene where he would say sorry to the members, but they just cut to him being weird during practice again, and then they showed the performance. So that did not end well, and the performance was not worth talking about. But we did get a very scary ending fairy from Zeon, so that's the only thing I remember. Finally, we have Team Groove, who covered Missing You by B2B, which is one of my favorite songs from them. So I was so happy that this was being covered. And there's not much to say about their practice, but Kenta really surprised me with his rapping, especially his Korean pronunciation, because he hasn't even learned Korean yet, but he sounds so good. So he's on my radar now. And there was also, I think, a clear comparison between Jungwoo and Park Ji-hoon from Team Beat, because Jungwoo also mentioned how he's learned learning to sing and dance for the first time, but they showed footage of him asking the other trainees to help him and him practicing hard, while Park Ji-hoon, we know what he did. However, Jongwoo got the MVP, which I don't think it should have been him. It should have been Park Han because he carried the team. So, to conclude, I think this episode was a little disappointing. I'm honestly surprised at how big of a difference the performances from episode 1 to episode 2 were, because I was so blown away in episode 1 and now I'm like, what? In episode 2. Team Rhythm was the only group that stood out and the other teams were not great. However, Kenta is added on my list of trainees that I like because I think he's gonna be really good in the future. And the preview for the next episode has me going, huh? Because it shows Team Beat cheering, so I assume that they won the entire mission, which is really weird because they had the worst performance. Like, you're telling me their bench team was able to do such an amazing job that they beat the other two teams? Let me know your thoughts on episode 2 in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Why does Yang Yang and Ten keep calling JL jail? Please stop! His name is JL! What? Not in front of the children! Not now! Oh my god! Because he was like, yeah! Team is looking a little rough, a little dusty. Hi, I'm back to talk about episode 3 of Universeleague, and this was a very good episode. So the show starts off with Team Rhythm's bench team covering NCTU's baggy jeans. Now, during the evaluations, I wish Ten and Yang Yang were actually shown teaching the trainees something, especially since it's Ten's song. But all we saw was Ten and Yang Yang telling them how to do something better instead of showing them how to actually do it better. Kwon Hee-jun was the leader and only Korean in the bench team, so it must have been extra hard for him due to the language barriers. It was heartwarming to see him fight for the team and be positive, but also I felt really bad for him because he must have been struggling a lot. He translated his text in English and Chinese to make sure everybody understood him, and also tried to keep a positive mood because there were some people that were a little unhappy during the practice. Jin Se-ming really gave the editors the best lines for drama because he was really pissed about the part distribution. I was watching this and I was like, damn, calm down, it's the first mission. Because he said if he had gotten Ayumu's part, he would have done amazing. But clearly he didn't do amazing during the evaluation, which is why Ten and Yang Yang gave him dust. During the practice, Jin Se-ming did not seem motivated, and another member, Eito, was missing for several days because he was really sick. All of this is to say that their performance was just okay. Honestly, it started off pretty good, but then during the middle, it kind of fell off for me. My favorite part was the reaction shots after Eito's bad vocals. Like, Jang Shuaibo's face gave me a good laugh. Kwon Hee-jun really deserved the MVP for this team though, because he really did his best to try and make the most out of his situation. Next, we have Team Beat covering Hard Carry by GOT7, and to be honest, I'm so tired of groups covering this song because GOT7 has so many good songs, and why do survival shows always have to choose Hard Carry? My favorite GOT7 song is You Are, and I still haven't seen a single cover of that song. Anyways, on to the practice. I was looking at Koo Han-seo and I was thinking that he looked like Gazelle from Zootopia. I don't know why. Maybe it's the long face and the eyes and the hair. But also, somebody commented that he looks like Anton from Rise, and honestly at certain angles I can see the resemblance. Now on this entire show, Nam Do-yoon has become the official comedic relief for me because he is just so goofy. His personality reminds me of Kim Sung-min from Project 7 because both of them are really hardworking despite the difficulties of learning everything for the first time. And they're both a little goofy. and clumsy. Hanso seemed to be a very good leader because he had very high energy and he was very passionate, and the other members also followed him in that aspect, which led them to have a very good performance. So I was a little surprised with the results of the live voting, but more on that later. When the trainees were given a chance to appeal for votes after the performance ended, Nam Do-yoon was acting all cute, and then they panned to Koo Han-so and he lifted up his shirt, exposing his abs, and I was like, what? Not in front of the children, not now, oh my god. You should have been doing that during the performance. It's a little late for that now. Finally, we have Team Groove covering Second Confession by B2B, which is a cute song, and I love that they chose a different concept compared to all the other songs that were shown during this round. The practice for this team was hilarious because Bae Jae-ho and Kim Ki-jung were fanboying over Chang-seop. Ki-jung said he had a tingly feeling seeing Chang-seop up close, and Bae Jae-ho was all giggly hearing him sing in front of him. But the best part was that both of them wanted to be scolded by Chang-seop. Like, I was watching Jae-ho sing his part and I could swear that he was faking his mistake. Because he was like, yeah! Jae-ho thought he would get scolded by Chang-seop, but instead he was told that it's okay and he was doing good. Ki-jung was also complimented, and they were both very sad that they did not get scolded by Chang-seop. I love that Chang-seop was very encouraging to all the trainees, and he actually showed what to do instead of just telling them how to do it, like a mentor should be. Now, about their performance, I liked it, though there were some minor mistakes. I think because it's a cute concept, you can brush off those mistakes as that it's cute. So they didn't affect the performance as much as if it were a different type of song. It was also nice to hear the audience do the fan chant for the song, because I don't remember the last time I've seen this happen for a cover song in a survival show. Now, the last part of this episode had me on a roller coaster because first, Team Groove got first place with Team Rhythm in second place, and Team Beat got third place. The first surprise was how the team compositions changed based on the live votes. Trainees ranking 1 to 7 became the new starting team, and trainees 8 to 14 became the new bench team. I was shocked when Jongwoo got 245 votes out of 300 for Team Groove, ranking number 1, because I don't think his performance was worth that many votes. However, I was happy that Bae Jae-ho got number 7 and he was added into the new starting team. The second surprise was that the yellow cards were also determined by the live votes. I thought the mentors would assign the yellow cards based on who they evaluated was good or bad during the entire mission, but that was not the case. Nam Do-yoon getting 6th place in Team Beat threw me off because we all know he did not do the best out of all 7 of them in that team. Look at El Capitan and Yu-gyum's face when he was announced as number 6. The third surprise was the trade ticket rule, which they suddenly threw in out of nowhere. First place, which was Groove, got 2 trade tickets. Second place was Rhythm, which got 1 trade ticket. This part of the episode got me so good. I was on the edge of my seat, waiting to see who would be traded. When Chang-seop announced that he would be taking Koo Han-so from Team Beat, in exchange for Lee Zu-wei, who ranked number 14, I was amazed. He also exchanged Hiroto, who ranked number 4, for Kwon Hee-jun in Team Rhythm. I see the vision, Chang-seop. I see the vision. Loved the picks. The final surprise was 10 trading Royce, who was number 14, for Zeon in Team Beat! And then we got Anyul saying that Team Beat is doomed if they lose Ungi or Zeon, and they lost Zeon. I was laughing, but I also felt a little bad, because let's be real, Team Beat is looking a little rough, a little dusty, a little dry. But I'm sure they'll be alright. maybe. To conclude, I think this episode was pretty great. Especially the last part with the trade tickets, because I was not expecting those exchanges, but I loved the results. However, I did not like that live voting had such a big influence on how the teams were changed. But it does make the teams a little more interesting since the members are forced to work with new people, so we get some new combinations. I'm very excited for episode 4 because the members will be performing new songs, and that's another surprise because this is very early on in a survival show to be performing new songs, but it's a nice surprise. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on episode 3 in the comments below, and I will be back for episode 4. Bye! JL! Is this a dating show? I don't know if I can defend you anymore. We need some improvement. Like SPS, you got me. Hi, I'm back to talk about episode 4 of Universeleague, and I cannot believe we're already on episode 4 and this show is still not getting any attention because the trainees are so talented. The episode starts off with the song previews for the new songs that the teams will be performing, and we start off with Team Rhythm's new song called Ignition, and as I was listening to this, I thought Ignition was a song that was dug up from the drafts of an NCTU subunit because it sounds like such a neo song. Next is Team Beat's new song called Mamma Mia, and I thought the song title was really weird. Maybe it's because I'm used to the Americanized version of this word, where people use it in a joking way to say, oh my god, but I thought it just did not fit the vibe of the song at all. I looked up the definition of Mamma Mia, and I guess it could kind of fit the vibe of the song, but I feel like there could have been way better choices for the song title, because it's just so out of place. And finally, we have Team Groove performing Prison, which really sounded like a third generation K-pop song, so Changsop hit the spot with the nostalgia vibes. After that, we got the rival matching where the teams choose who they want to compete against to steal their song. I said it before, but I knew they would pit Ungi and Kyungho against each other for the drama. Like, I want to believe it was 100% Team Groove's choice to choose Team Beat as their opponent, but I believe that behind the scenes, the staff definitely urged Team Groove to choose Team Beat because they want to make the drama happen. The funniest part during the rival matching was when JL said, sorry, we might be the reason that you guys are eliminated next round. Because 6 out of 7 of the Team Beat members have yellow cards. So we'll see what happens in the next episode if any of them are eliminated. Now, on to the Ignition battle. I love Team Rhythm's practice footage so much because you can tell the members are so much closer with each other and that the vibe of the team is just brighter and happier compared to the other episodes. Look at JL though, oh my god! I was watching him and we all know this man will debut. It was so cute when Schweibel reached out to Zeon first to make sure that he's comfortable and to include him in the team. The mini compilation of their friendship bonding was really adorable. Like, Schweibel is out here editing their photos together like some couple Instagram anniversary post. Is this a dating show? There is such a huge difference between Zeon in Team Beat versus in Team Rhythm right now because he seems so much happier and so much more active, especially since the mood is good and all the members get along with each other. I love it when members step up to teach their specialty to the group because it just shows that they care for one another. Like, we all know the show is a competition, but when somebody helps another person out, in the end, it helps the whole team out. It's also great that the members followed along the person who is teaching, because we've all seen groups where at least one member decides that he's somewhat better and prioritizes practicing alone because he thinks it's every man for himself. I also want to mention how Schweibel really came into the show with a completely different mindset from Boys Planet because he is so different now. Like, he's out here thinking of ways to improve the quality of their performance, and he deserves all the praise for that, especially since he came up with the pair choreo in their performance. Now, onto their stage, I just have to say, JL! 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 He totally upgraded and evolved. He's like a Pokemon or something because his facial expressions, his vocals, his dance, everything was so good and he stood out so much during this performance. Also, the pair choreo, the strong, sexy eyes that Steven and Schweibel gave to each other got me looking like the girl in the audience. Like, now let me reenact how I was feeling as the performance was ending. Oh my god, yeah! Oh my god. Not the scary ending fairy on, please! Stop! So scary. He's staring into my soul. I thought I was having deja vu. He looked the exact same as the other ending fairy. Why did you do that? Zeon! Why? We were having a good time. Why did you do that? Why? This time I saw him and I got flashbacks to Momo, and not the member from Twice, but the other Momo. And I advise you not to Google it if you are scared easily, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Somebody please tell Zeon to fix whatever he needs to do to stop with those scary ending fairies, because if this continues, I don't know if I can defend you anymore, Zeon. Please, we need some improvement. Overall, I think it was a very solid performance, and I think JL really gave his everything in this stage. I thought Daisuke was really too cute, too adorable looking for this type of concept, but it's just that his vibe is too young and youthful, but the song is too strong and hard for his image. Now, speaking of Zeon again, I thought he was really awkward on this stage. Like, even more awkward than his first performance. His abs reveal was so weird, it felt out of place. Like, it did not fit in with the rest of the performance. I really hope you improve, Zeon. I really do. Because right now, it's not it. On to Team Beats bench team. Dong-yoon really gave a spoiler for the next round because he said he's going to remove his yellow card. I didn't even know they could remove their yellow cards, so I definitely think the editors of the show let this slip in as a little spoiler for the next episode. During their little group meeting before practice, Lee Ziwei asked Royce, who was previously on Team Rhythm, what is Team Rhythm's weakness? And Royce says, I was their weakness. No! No! You're right, that's why you got switched out. I'm sorry, no. I love that Park Ji-hoon had a little moment of self-reflection, and I do think his attitude really changed compared to round one. On to their performance, I thought they did really good. My expectations leading up to the performance were really low, but they exceeded them, and I thought Jangfun and Hyotae really stood out, especially because of their vocals and their dancing. I also loved the little slogan choreo dance at the end, which was a nice touch to differentiate them from Team Rhythm's performance. After the performances ended, both teams came up on stage to appeal for votes, and again, during this time, Zeon shows his abs, and really, again, it was so awkward for me. I don't know why. There was just something about his movements, his facial expression, it just did not sit right. His ab reveal was a completely different vibe compared to Kuhanso on the previous round. He just felt so much more confident, whereas Zeon feels like he's faking his confidence or something. I don't know, it's just an awkward vibe coming from him that he still can't get rid of. I just wish they would all stop with the ab reveals because we really don't need them in all these random moments. It's not really special anymore if they just be doing them out of nowhere. Anyways, it was obvious who would be the winner because the live votes are always about a popularity contest. And of course, Team Rhythm won, which they deserved it. Compared to Team Rhythm, Team Beat really has no popular trainees. So their chances of winning were practically zero from the beginning, which I think is really sad, but there's nothing we can do about that. I definitely preferred Team Rhythm's performance, so I'm glad that they're able to release music under their name. Finally, we have Team Beat singing Mamma Mia. I just knew they would bring up the Kyungho and Eungi drama again. I think that SBS is definitely playing up the drama because you can see barely on screen that Kyungho fist bumps Eungi as he's going off the stage. Now, flashback to Team Beat's practice. Their entire storyline is literally about Eungi and Kyungho's rivalry or whatever drama they have. I thought it was sad during Eungi's confessional interview that he mentioned he would have probably never seen Kyungho again after he left the group if it wasn't for being on this show together. But he also said that he didn't have any desire to see Kyungho at all. So definitely something there between the two of them. But I also agree with Eungi when he said that he would have avoided Kyungho if he had the choice to choose his opponent. Because really, why would he go out of his way to choose Team Beat when he had another choice? That's why I think the staff definitely planted some seeds to encourage the members of Groove to choose Team Beat so that SBS could have this drama storyline. Eungi was running the practice like the military. He really wanted to make this performance perfect because his pride was on the line and he did not want to lose for the team again because Team Beat has not won a single round. I love Do-yoon's character so much. He really just brightens the mood when he's on the screen, even though his skills are not the best. I think members like him are so essential to the team because you can see everybody's laughing because of him. Onto their performance. I thought Eungi did the best, of course. He really is solidifying himself as the center of Team Beat. Another trainee that I liked is Kim Jin-ho because his vocals were really good during their performance. The episode ends with Kyungho tapping Eungi on the shoulder before he goes up on stage to perform. And then we see the preview of him mentioning that he has something to say to Eungi. I am so curious as to what happened between them. Like, SBS, you got me. I'm on the edge of my seat. I need to know what happened between the two of them. If anybody knows some spoilers, please let me know because I cannot wait. I need to know. SBS. Why was Eungi crying? Did they lose the battle again? Or is he crying because of what Kyungho said? I really need to know. Overall, another amazing episode, and the show just keeps getting better because SBS knows what they're doing. So far, Mamma Mia is my favorite song since we haven't seen the full version of Prison, so I will leave that for my thoughts on episode 5. Now, let me know, what did you think of this episode and the performances? I want to know, does somebody know the drama between Eungi and Kyungho? Please let me know. Please. Bye. Hi, I'm back for episode 5 of Universeleague. But first of all, damn you SBS for the fake drama between Kyungho and Eungi because they literally showed nothing from the preview of this episode. And I'm so annoyed. I hate it when shows do that. But on brighter news, Universeleague is going to be on Netflix starting January 4th. So now maybe the show will finally get more attention. The episode starts off with the Kyungho and Eungi storyline, with Kyungho mentioning how Eungi ignored him when they saw each other going to the bathroom during the first filming of the very first episode. Anyways, onto their practice. I cannot believe that Kyungho honestly pushed for the group to do a sexy concept for this song because it does not fit at all in my opinion. I've read some posts saying that the group's concept or their image looks very mature and sexy, but to be honest, the only person I think that fits the sexy, possibly more mature image is Kyungho and maybe Kuhanso, but other than that, the rest of the members could pass for a youthful concept. Now, as they were practicing, it was at this moment that we were attacked by random abs again. People, we need to learn some TPO. Time, place, occasion. I swear, I've seen way too many stomachs in this entire show. Too many. However, later on, we will get a very good example of TPO, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, onto their stage, I thought the way they interpreted the song was just completely different from what El Capitan wrote the song to be, because the song lyrics talk about finding your own way and going through struggles to define your own path and search for the brighter light. But their interpretation of the song was more about being sexy. The way they sang it was just very hard and on point, whereas Team Beat sang the song in a more fluid and softer way, but more fitting to the concept, at least in my opinion. Also, again, just so many stomachs, I swear. I sometimes think the sexy concept is chosen just for the live votes because we know most of the time the sexy concept wins the live votes in survival shows. Now for the results, of course, Team Groove won, beating Team Beat again, and this has been horrible for Team Beat because they have lost every single round. They haven't won anything at all. It's really sad. And the way Ungi just started crying on stage was horrible to see. He was heaving so badly, his voice was like that's how you know it's a really sad cry. And a fan who was rooting for him was also crying in the audience, and El Capitan literally walked off the cameras for a good time. I also thought it was weird that Kyungho specifically talked to Ungi, I guess because of their storyline, but it felt like Ungi really just didn't care about him at all, and it reinforces what Ungi said during his interviews about how he just does not want to associate with Kyungho anymore. But Kyungho is completely different from his interview when he said that I don't want to talk about him, but then here now he mentions him in front of a live audience. I think it was just weird. Next, we have the prison battle between Team Groove and Team Rhythm. We start off with Team Groove, and they always have the best practice footage because we actually see Changseop teaching the trainees. And during this part, we also saw Kwon Hee-jun falling in love with Changseop because he loved hearing him sing in person. Now we have another fanboy with the trio, Ki-jung, Bae Jae-ho, and Kwon Hee-jun. Now I was comfortably watching the practice when Changseop said, "Show me your abs." I said, "Not again. No, why? Not again." But I would be proven wrong later. On to Team Groove's performance. They literally did so amazing. They put a chain around my neck and locked me in because I was in a prison watching this performance. Kenta destroyed this song. Kenta's deep, low voice and his visuals were perfect for the song. I don't even know how they could have found a better person for this position. He was great for the center. Like, I was watching his parts on the edge of my seat because he was so captivating. Kenta, you are the perfect example of TPO. Those abs were put to good use. This song was perfect for the dark and sultry, sexy concept, as compared to the other moments where we saw abs out of nowhere. After this performance, I was just in awe because it was so good. Especially Kwon Hee-jun, Bae Jae-ho, Kenta, and Pakan. Amazing vocals, amazing performance. Overall, just great. Now with Team Rhythm's bench team next, I was honestly so worried for them because they're all foreigners, especially for the singing part because not all of them are fluent in Korean and I thought they would struggle with the pronunciation. But I was proven wrong again, which is amazing. Their choreo for this song was literally insane. They had to do the Scorpio dance move and a lot of floor work, but they were so amazing and perfect during their practice. I cannot even fathom how they did that in such a short amount of time. If you've ever done dance moves on your knees, you know how painful that is, so I cannot imagine how much pain they went through to perfect this dance. Now their performance, absolutely amazing. I loved their choreography so much. My favorite part was when the hands were around Eito like a prison, like a cage in the beginning, and then towards the end of the performance, they locked the cage again. Absolutely amazing. Whoever came up with that choreo, amazing. And the way that the team pulled it off was fantastic. The standouts for me from this performance was Eito because his deep voice and his dance and his performance, amazing. And Sirin was also great with the vocals, and we'll see that he was later taken because of this. After both performances ended, we went on to the appeal section, and of course, Kenta brought out the abs again, and honestly, deserved. He fits the concept of the song perfectly. I swear it's because of the body chain that just, there's something about that. The outfit altogether is just the perfect composition. In the end, Team Groove won, but honestly it wouldn't have been weird at all if either team won because they both did so good. Now we have the mission results, and there is no way you are telling me that Team Rhythm got 101 votes for their prison performance. I cannot believe that happened. The live votes are crazy. Team Groove got 296 votes and Team Rhythm got 101 votes. That's almost a 200-point gap. That is insane for how amazing they did. I was expecting a closer vote gap, but that was not the case. I mean, we all know the biggest factor is popularity, and Team Rhythm's bench team does not have the most popular members, but also, they're all foreigners, so they have an even bigger disadvantage. They seriously deserved better than that, though. After combining the live votes and the online votes, of course we have Team Groove in first place again, Team Rhythm in second, and Team Beat, sadly, in third place. This is the exact same repeat from the previous mission. Seriously, I am worried for Team Beat because they just keep getting beat on by everything around them. They have not won a single thing, and all their players are almost on the verge of elimination. In the end, Team Beat has 8 members left. However, I'm so happy Kenta got first place in Team Groove, JL got first place in Team Rhythm with 38,000 votes, and Ungi got first place in Team Beat with 41,000 votes. He really is carrying the entire team on his back. Surprisingly, no one from Team Rhythm was eliminated, so only Team Beat has been suffering throughout this entire mission. Jangfan also deserved way better because his performance was amazing and he's a great dancer. I can't believe he got eliminated. And then we have the trade ticket portion, and honestly I forgot this was gonna happen, but anyways, Team Groove got 2 trade tickets, and Changsup traded Zenzen, who is a great vocalist, I don't know why he chose him, for Sirin, who's another great vocalist, so I guess he just has too many vocalists in his team and he needs to differentiate the tones in his group, not sure. He also traded James for Park Ju-won from Team Rhythm, so now they have a great performer and dancer that will probably lead the group because he was literally a core member in Team Rhythm's starting lineup. Rhythm got 1 trade ticket, and they traded Jin Se-ming, who was ranked 14, for Kim Dong-yu, who was ranked number 2. So again, Team Beat is getting beat on the worst because they all keep getting the low-ranked players who aren't even popular and they can't even get any help for the group. Honestly, it just felt like Team Groove was getting stronger and stronger. Team Rhythm is getting a little bit stronger each time, but Team Beat is just getting worse and worse. Not to be mean, but I kind of want Team Group to be last at least once because I love a little underdog story and I need Team Beat to win at least second place or first place at least one time. As for my rankings for the songs, number 1 is Prison. I just love the third generation vibe from the song. It reminds me of Vix. Number 2 is Mamma Mia, and I love that it's an upbeat song with emotional lyrics. And last is Ignition. It's just not my style. It's not a bad song, but I don't feel a pull to listen to it. But I've read and seen that Ignition is one of the most popular songs. I think mainly because of JL, because people really want to support him. In the next episode, we get even more new songs, which I'm honestly surprised about because we're basically halfway through the show now and we're gonna know the debut group in like late January, early February. I cannot believe this is going to be happening so soon. Also, for the preview of the next episode, we have Zeon and he's giving Toshio vibes because why did they make him crouch down on the floor while everybody else is partying around him? And he just has the scary deer in headlights face that we all know and kind of love, maybe? There has also been a lot of discussion going on about how are the debut members going to be chosen? Will it be only from one team or will it be based on all the teams? And honestly, I have no idea. The show should have revealed this earlier because it's making people really nervous. And honestly, I'm kind of nervous too because I don't know what's gonna happen. Why are we voting for individual trainees when we don't even know how they're going to be chosen to win and debut in the final group? Let me know what you think about how the group is going to be chosen because there have been a lot of rumors going around now that we're almost halfway through the show. Anyways, see you next time for episode 6. Bye! Side note, Pakhan's head looks like an acorn. It's rigged! I'm telling you, this show is rigged! You freakies on, okay? Like a wet spaghetti, like, ooh, ooh. Congratulations on the marriage! Hi, I'm back to discuss episode 6 of Universe League, and I swear it's one of the best filler episodes I have ever seen recently from a survival show. It is the perfect mix of fun and talent. So we start off with a random playdance, and I just knew from the start that they made Ungi an MC because they knew that he would kill a random playdance if he was in the game. There were so many cute moments during this game, like Jang Tribal and JL, they were praying together for a girl group song because all the songs recently have been boy groups. And we got Park Ji-won twerking to Sticky with his non-existent butt. It looks like a flopping fish, like ooh, ooh, ooh. But then we got the final boss coming in. Ungi smoothly slips in and starts dancing to Sticky, and he ends it with a little drop. And that's how you know he's serious about those girl group dances. Ungi continues to give his best. He dances to I Am by IVE and Super Lady by G-Idol. And then we got this amazing slow-mo ending. In the end, Xie Yushin wins from Team Rhythm. And I swear, Team Beat loses something again. They can't win nothing. Next, we have the thigh wrestling, and I swear they are putting up the weakest looking trainees up against the strongest trainees who go to the gym and exercise. Also, every time they cut to Zeon, he's just looking like... Anyways, Schweibel loses against Nam Do-yoon, and honestly that one, okay, fine. They're kind of on equal footing. Schweibel and Nam Do-yoon, they both look very, normal, not very strong. So, okay, Nam Do-yoon wins. I don't know how, but Team Beat finally wins something. Fast forward, we have Steven, a man who clearly works out and has lots of muscles, going up against Nam Do-yoon. And what happens? Nam Do-yoon wins in 1 second. I'm sorry, what? Hello? How did that happen? You're telling me a muscle man lost against a 16-year-old? What? Okay, maybe Nam Do-yoon got Steven off guard. That's why he won. Okay, fine. Then we have the final match between Nam Do-yoon, who again is a 16-year-old regular-looking teenage boy, against Ki-jung, who came out of the military and clearly also works out. Do-yoon wins the match in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Are you serious? There ain't no way Namdo Yoon beat Kim Ki-jung in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. He went, ooh! How is that possible? It's rigged. I'm telling you, this show is rigged. No, I'm kidding. After this, we have a game called Between the Butt Cheeks. No, I'm kidding. Between the Cheeks, where the trainees partner up and they have to put something between their cheeks and run around a cone in a relay. Now the partners have to choose a random object hidden inside of a box, and one of the boxes is moving. Clearly, nobody else wants that box and everybody is avoiding it, so it's literally one of the last boxes left. See, I knew Zeon was weird, but now we confirm that he's weirder than we thought because he went straight for the moving box. Like, why would you do that? You have to put it on your face. You freaky Zeon, okay. We get the box reveal and there's Jang Shuaibo screaming because it's a flopping fish doll. And then comes my favorite part of the sports event, which is the liar game. 2 teams are guessing and there's one team that plays the liars, and the 2 teams have to figure out which of the members is lying. In one round, Team Groove is acting as the liars and they have to wear high heels. I was cracking up thinking, how are they gonna pull this off? Especially because all of them are wearing heels for the first time in their life. After the 2 teams say their guess, we get the reveal. The curtain drops and we have Team Groove strutting out in their white heels, and I was laughing so hard at this scene. It reminded me of Shua, Mion, and Oogie, that viral meme of them walking from Queen Ka. In the next round, they give Team Beat the worst possible thing to do, like a punishment. One of them has to drink apple cider vinegar and pretend like it's apple juice. This was so mean. The sacrifice was Kumjino, so he decided he would be the one to be drinking the apple cider vinegar. And he really went for it too. He committed to the bit. He committed to lying, because when they asked him to gargle the vinegar, he really went. Some other highlights from the next games. We have Nam Do-yoon, who doesn't know how to swing a jump rope at all. He's moving it like a wet spaghetti, like ooh, ooh. And of course, we have a relay race, which they always include in idol sports events. And every time there's at least one person who falls so hard, it looks like so painful, I can't even watch. Like, why do you have to try so hard for a damn little race? Kenta falls hard receiving the baton, and then he runs into JL, who falls and rolls, and he also crashes into the wall, and then he loses the baton. Of course, Team Groove was last in that race, and Team Beat won. Overall, Team Beat wins the entire sports event, and they finally win something in the entire series of Universeleague. Now we have the best part of the entire episode, which is the talent show, where everybody gets to show off what they wanted to do. All the trainees prepared a little performance in a unit, regardless of whatever team they're in. The talent show starts off with a beautiful marriage proposal by Eungi, and he says to Kumjino, "Will you marry me?" And Kumjino says yes! Congratulations on the marriage. All these other times Eungi was rejected, he finally got an acceptance. He's getting married, you guys. Anyways, the vocals of this unit, Love Die, Love Man, are amazing. I noticed Ju Young for the first time ever. He's really good at singing. Next, we have a unit reunion between Shuaibo and Eungi, and their unit name is called Feel Special. If you know, you know. And Eungi mentions from enemies to friends. And during their performance, Shuaibo was singing to his wrist the entire time, like this. Because he didn't memorize the lyrics. After, we have Universe Star, which is a unit made of Jongwoo, Zeon, Kenta, and Steven, each being the representative visuals from their country in the show. In the performance, Jongwoo sprays so much fake snow, Kenta ends up looking like a snowman. But really, his visual is out of this world. Kenta is beautiful. Next up, we have a delicious candy, which is a unit made of Daisuke, Juwon, Kangdong, and Junjin. And they're covering NCT Dreams candy. They are so cute, and they fit the concept very well. I also love that Steven randomly yelled "Rawr!" in the middle of Park Ji-won's rap right when he started, and that messes him up and he gets the lyrics wrong and everybody just starts laughing. In the next unit, we have Bae Jae-ho, Kim Dae-yoon, and Nam Do-yoon on the guitar. Literally so unexpected, and Nam Do-yoon kills his guitar solo. Like, nobody expected that he would be so talented at an instrument. And we have the highlight of the talent show. We have Park Han and JL covering Little Prince, and I swear everybody's ears melted listening to this performance. They also started by referencing the famous Taeyang viral meme, 여러분. The performance was amazing, and it makes you want to close your eyes because they're melting your eardrums. Their vocals and emotions were literally so good. And the fact that JL's pronunciation was literally perfect and he memorized the entire song. It was an absolutely beautiful cover, and it reminds me, we need a voice that can sell out stadiums. Well, here we have two served on a platter. Finally, the last performance is a trot song, and the group is having so much fun on stage that everybody starts to sing and dance, and Park Han does a little weird woodpecker dance, like, what is this? Everybody starts standing up and laughing, dancing, and then we have Zeon. He's just sitting there looking like, what is going on? Why am I here? The laugh I let out when I saw this scene, it was so funny. Amazing. Perfect. Zeon, thank you for this scene. Thank you. I just want to say thank you. If you're watching this, Zeon, thank you. This was truly a great, amazing filler episode to end the last week of 2024. We got to see a lot more of the trainees' personalities, and we saw them have fun and perform what they wanted to perform instead of being told what to perform. Nam Do-yoon being amazing at the guitar was not on my list of things in this show. So another unexpected, amazing discovery. And all of the trainees can sing. All of them are talented. Literally, they showed all the trainees doing something amazing. And I've noticed more trainees now because of this fun talent show. And of course, we got the famous duet with Park Han and JL. And I've been listening to it every single night now. I need them both to debut and release a real cover, a studio version, because I need to listen to that better. I need more covers from the two of them. Thank you very much. You're gonna debut. Anyways, I'm excited to see the stages for the next episode because people said the songs from the spoilers were really good. Happy New Year. Bye. This is my Zeon impression. First place, so dry. I need some seasoning. I would be out the door. But he looks 12. Too many in my face every single episode. Completely naked, pants off, cover the pits, cover the stomachs. Nothing is safe. Hello, I'm back for episode 7 of Universeleague. And after the week hiatus, the show did not live up to my expectations. So I was a little disappointed with this episode. First off, we start with Team Rhythm revealing their first song, Rollercoaster, and I was not feeling the song from the first listen. Also, I'm always suspicious when the trainees automatically start cheering, whoa, 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 when they hear 1 second of the song, because it just seems so fake. Because how do you know if you like the song from 1 second? I think the song is quite generic and I don't know why they chose this song. But there was a funny little moment, I don't know if you caught it, when Ten announced the name Rollercoaster for the song. Zeon immediately turned to Schreibel and he sang Rollercoaster by Chungha. My girl group enthusiast, truly. During this section, Zeon looked so scary. I think it was a combination of the makeup around his eyes and his big ass eyeballs that were like, ugh. Their second song, Don't Hit the Brakes, reminds me of Ignition. And I saw that they uploaded the performances already from next week, but I haven't watched them yet. However, I did see that Don't Hit the Brakes has very high views compared to the other songs, so my expectations are a little high. After the units were announced, I was a little surprised when Schreibel was not chosen for either of the units, because I totally saw him doing rollercoaster, but you should have heard the laugh I let out when Ten said, Schreibel, we didn't choose you because you're sexy and powerful. What? Don't get me wrong, Schreibel did amazing in the previous performances, but I just never imagined him to be a really sexy or powerful person, so that was a little weird for me. Next, we have Team Groove's song reveals, and we start with Only You, and as soon as I heard this song, I immediately thought of B2B. It just has those vibes. And their second song, Butterfly, I really like the instrumental, and I love that it's a refreshing song. And I love how Changseop is so consistent with the quality of the songs each round. These two songs could go on an album together and they would mesh together perfectly. Whereas Team Rhythm, they have one cutesy song and one hard song and they do not mix well together. For Team Beats, El Capitan is bringing really high quality songs consistently, and I love that the song previews sounded so good. However, it was so tragic for me when Yugyeom said, we're having the starting lineup do both songs because we only have 9 people. So yeah. The entire time, Jin Zeming and Lee Zuwei were sitting in the back looking so depressed because they weren't even considered at all. Onto the unit evaluations. We start with Team Groove's Only You unit. And their performance really was not that great. Kenta had the last line of the song and he said it, Only You. He said it so plain, so dry. I need some seasoning because I don't know why he did it like that. It was so boring. It was not good. But thankfully, he did not do that during the actual performance. He really made me laugh so much because of that. I was replaying that moment. Also, Park Ji-won looks so traumatized. It's his panda eyes. He looks like Zeon 2.0. Jongwoo ends up being the only member swapped out. And the reason being, Changseop said, your weaknesses cannot be hidden in this song, even though I gave you different parts to sing. Goodbye! I would be out the door. I could not do that. I would be gone. However, I was so happy that Koo Han-seo was swapped in because I love how confident he is in himself and his skills. Now we have Team Beats unit evaluation. And it was something. I got so uncomfortable when we saw Anyul acting sexy and confident and then cut to El Capitan and Yugyeom's reaction saying they like it. I was so uncomfortable. Please can we stop making minors perform sexy songs? Anyul just turned 15 on January 2nd, but he looks 12. Come on, people. Hyotae did not sing well during the evaluation and had a lot of voice cracks. Jin Zeming and Lee Zuwei, they both auditioned for parts, but they failed. And Yugyeom said that both of them sang better than Hyotae and Do-yoon, but Hyotae and Do-yoon fit the song better, so they're staying, and there were no changes made. Finally, we have Team Rhythm's evaluation, and I got so nervous when Ten asked the trainees auditioning to perform again. I was getting bad flashbacks to Starlight Boys episode 2, but thankfully they only showed 2 rounds, so it ended there. And surprise, surprise, Steven and Jang Schreibel were added into the song. For this mission, the trainees were given 2 weeks to practice for the evaluation, and then another 2 weeks to practice before the stage. So they basically got an entire month, And that is so much time compared to what I've seen in other survival shows, where they usually get like a week, maybe 2 weeks max, and then they have to perform. So I'm honestly expecting a lot because some of them are only dancing one song. So they have a lot of time to practice for one performance. Now onto team groups practice time. I swear Juwon got a severe case of panda eyes ever since he joined group because it looks like he got no sleep for the entire month. His dark circles are so prominent. Anyways, we have the Only You performance, and I love that Pakan started the song off with his strong, beautiful vocals, of course. And the other highlight was Kuhanso and his rap. Also, his small vocal part, which I really loved and did not expect him to have. Yo Kangdong and He Jinjin really surprised me with their vocals because they were basically invisible during this entire show up until now. Also, it's 2025. Can we please get some proofreaders on these song lyrics? Because they had Heejun singing Share the Vibe with an E. Next up, we have Team Beats' My stage. And as the members were leaving, Jin Se-ming was telling each of them, save my life, because he's about to get eliminated if they don't get first place. Now, a warning, you know what's coming next. I need you to lower your volume for a quick second because no! Not the abs again! Not the open stomachs! The stomach agenda of this show is out of this world because there's a stomach here, stomach there, stomach everywhere. Every single episode, we have someone exposing their stomach. I screeched, not in a good way, when I saw Kim Jin-ho and Kairi walking out with their stomachs. I swear, whoever the stylist, whoever is making the decisions to put them in these outfits needs to be moved to a different department because we really don't need to see any more raw stomachs. I see too many in my face every single episode. It needs to stop. Please. What happened to wearing clothes in the winter time? Anyways, we saw a little bit of their practice time and we learned that Ungi spilled boiling water on his leg and the pot also touched his leg. He was covered up in bandages and I cannot imagine the pain he must have been in because if you've ever gotten a burn, you know if you move even a little bit, your skin feels like it's so thin and brittle it's going to crack open at any second and leak pus. Thankfully, he recovered really quickly. I don't know how because his entire side of his body was covered up. Honestly, all I remember from their performance was Kairi's little blindfold moment and then their front step body roll dance move, and all I could think of was Kai's because you know when a song goes so viral for a dance move that if you see it anywhere else, all you can think of is that song. Yeah, well, unfortunately, that happened here, and I don't think it's their fault, but Kai's was just so big that it's the only thing I can think of. Overall, I still think it's a very good song, but their views on their performance is so low compared to the others, and I think that's really tragic. Not to mention this again, but I really wish they would stop making minors perform sexy songs because we do not need a 15-year-old trying to act sexy to get votes so he can achieve his dream of being a singer. And don't come at me with, it's been done before in K-pop. Well, that doesn't mean we have to repeat history. Get those minors out of the sexy songs. I yelled, no, when Changsub said to Kenta, let's show your abs one more time for the finale. In matter of fact, let's do it completely naked, pants off. And I know he said it in a joking way, but I'm scared that he's not joking and he might actually do something because in the previous performance, he was serious about showing Kenta's abs. So I really hope that they don't do this to us again. Finally, we have Team Rhythm's time. And I swear the on-stage interviews that they showed were so long in this episode. Like, why were they giving us screen time of these boring questions? I'd rather they show us something else more entertaining. Also, Zeon was being his awkward self, doing some cute poses and showing his armpits, and I know the armpit fanatics of the K-pop community are out there taking screenshots of his pits. You were freaky ass people. Cover the pits, cover the stomachs, nothing is safe. JL says second place is no longer an option for Team Rhythm. And Ungi butts in and he says, "We want second place!" It was so frustrating watching them talk about first place, first place, first place the entire episode. It was exhausting. Also, why did they keep replaying parts that we already saw in the episode? It felt like it was 60% talking about first place, 30% replaying old parts we already saw, and 10% new stuff. Like, come on. Anyways, I'm so glad that Yang Yang told Zeon that he has one facial expression. That made me laugh so much. I was hoping for this moment to come ever since we got those scary ending fairies. Onto their stage. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the combination of the camera work, the editing, and the choreography, but everything felt like super speed. We got a group shot, and then a close shot, and then the audience, and then the team reactions, and everything felt so fast I was getting whiplash because I don't know what was happening during that performance. I don't even remember anything, so I have nothing to say. We did, however, get Zeon's new and improved, kind of, less scary ending fairy, and I will applaud him for that. But as soon as I was happy for him, he came in with the cringy Nuna lines and I could never. Gotta do what you gotta do for the votes, but that could not be me. At the end of the episode, the scores for the first unit performances were revealed and there was no suspense at all. Team Beat got last place and we have the exact same ranking as before, with Team Groove in first and Team Rhythm in second. But Team Beat was happy that their score was a little closer to Team Rhythm, so there's that. Also, I don't understand the scoring at all because it's out of 2,800 points and the highest score was 1,711. Where is the other 1,000 points coming from? How are the points even calculated? Makes no sense to me. And finally, we have the preview. And you know my thoughts exactly when I saw Kim Jin-ho and Kyrie showing their abs again for another performance. Maybe I'm just the crazy person. That aside, it looks like Team Beat has some happy news because we saw them celebrating, so maybe they are not in last place for the first time ever. But as we know, these previews can be lies, so who knows? Maybe they're just cheering because they have a very tiny score gap. Overall, I have to say that this episode was not that great compared to the previous episodes, but next week might make up for it. I'm so curious to see who Team Beat will trade because, assuming they win second place, into their team and out of their team. And also, who will survive the eliminations. What did you think of this episode? Did you have a favorite performance? And let me know in the comments below your thoughts on episode 7 because I will see you next time for episode 8. Bye! Why does El Capitan always sound like he's been crying? Does he have a frog in his throat? He talks like this like, the entire time. I'm sorry, I love your songs. Don't kill me. Anyways. Double elimination is so cruel. I cannot believe they did this to us. Hi, I'm back for episode 8 and 9, and honestly I was not expecting 2 episodes, but the finale is literally this Friday, so I guess everything is happening super quickly. We continue this episode off with the Don't Hit the Bricks evaluation, where it was a little uneventful because we learned that Daisuke, Schweibo, and Zeon were added into the unit. So therefore, the same 5 members were in both units, and of course, they are the most popular members in Team Rhythm. Of course, it's true that Donghyun did not perform well during the evaluation, but I thought it was really sad that he had no chance to perform at all during the 3rd round because he was personally picked by Ten and Yang Yang to be in Team Rhythm because they thought he was a good performer. Now, for their stage, JL is a rapper. I honestly was not expecting him to be good at rapping at all. He is really the true definition of an all-rounder because he can sing, dance, rap, and his facial expressions are so good. He just knows how to perform. He's like born to be an idol. A little funny moment that I found was when Zen Zen did a little sexy move during the performance, and then they cut to Kijung's face and he was like, that was so funny. I have to say that Team Rhythm has been very consistent with the quality of their performances. I think they always kill the choreography no matter how hard it is. But for this performance, I really did not like the song that much. Especially the chorus part, it was hard to hear. So I don't think I would ever go out of my way to listen to this song. As for Team Groove's butterfly evaluation, I like that Changsop allows everyone to be challenged, whereas in Team Rhythm, they only picked a few people to be switched out. So I think that everybody got a chance to at least show their abilities in Team Groove. I was quite surprised when I saw Heejun and Hanso were switched out for Jaeho and Jongwoo because I was not expecting that at all. I think the former two are still stronger performers than the latter. But anyways, I'm glad that Jaeho was able to perform for at least one more time. Joohyung was also switched out for Kijung, so Joohyung got no performances in round 3. As for the stage, the song did not hit me as hard as I thought it would when I heard the preview, but overall it was okay. I still liked the vocals of Pakhan, Shirin, and Jaeho because I thought their vocals were very good. Side note, I cannot imagine if I was one of those fans who took time out of my schedule to make a trip to this studio, wait in line for the live performance, only to find out that the person I'm cheering for is not performing at all. I would be so betrayed, angry, and just sad. Like, I cannot imagine the feelings of those people in the audience. On to Team Beat, I found it hilarious that Eungi said his vocal practice went amazing because he stared at a photo of Pakhan while he was practicing. That's just so weird. Anyways, Yugyeom invited Team Beat to AOMG so they could finally get some personal coaching, except they excluded Jin Zeming and Lee Zuwei again, and I thought that just made me really sad because they were basically excluded from the entire mission and they did nothing for over a month while the other trainees were training and getting coaching and actually doing content. They were basically just sitting ducks waiting to be eliminated. Back to their practice. It was nice to see the trainees get actual coaching because Yugyeom invited Punch Nello, a rapper, to help coach them on how to rap better. And El Capitan's producer friend also coached them personally on vocals for over 5 hours in the studio. And I just don't understand what took them so long to provide the trainees actual personalized coaching help. I just thought that was very weird because this is the semi-finale mission and it took them this long to do this. Onto their stage, I thought the choreo for On and On was so cool, especially the part with Kyrie in the center and he's just moving his shoulders that way. Oh, that was amazing and I replayed that part so many times. A funny moment for me during this was when Kim Jino's part came up and he sings "Shake up this here's cake for your taste buds," and then the next part is "blah blah blah" and he sings this while slapping something in front of him. And this was the moment that I realized this song was about something called The Birds and the Bees. And the title of the song made much more sense. Now we have the ranking portion of round 3, and I was waiting for this moment because we saw in the preview that Team Beat was cheering for something. So, majority of us assumed that they won second place. And it turns out that Team Beat did win second place. Except it was second place for the on-site voting and not the overall ranking. So in the end, it really meant nothing because, surprise, Team Beat ranks 3rd again with Rhythm in 1st place and Groove in 2nd. Really, nothing was a big surprise because when they added the online votes, we all knew who would be in 1st. The individual rankings in the 3rd round didn't even matter that much, aside from the trainees that were eliminated from the yellow cards, again, only from Team Beat. I think the most tragic part of this ranking was realizing that Team Beat really has no popular trainees aside from Ungi because their scores were so low compared to the other trainees in Groove and Rhythm, even though all of them performed twice and they got double points. Next, we have the trade tickets, and I think this portion was full of weird decisions because why did Yang Yang and Ten trade Kim Dong-yoon for Seo Jong-woo into Team Rhythm? I just thought that was such a weird choice. They personally chose Dong-yoon from Team Beat, and then they just throw him away the next second for Jung-woo in Groove, and I think Jung-woo is one of the weakest links in Groove, especially in terms of dancing and vocals and facial expressions, but he does have popularity, so I guess that's why they took him. They also traded Hiroto, who was really an invisible trainee because he got no screen time, for Park Ji-won again, so they brought him back into Team Rhythm, and that was really not that surprising for me either. When it came to Team Groove's turn, I was begging Changsup, please make a decision that is fun, that is unexpected, that is amazing. Please take Kairi or Ungi from Team Beat. And then he trades for Anyu, and I was like, okay. Now, at the end of episode 8, we learn that there are only 21 trainees that can proceed to the finale, and there's 34 trainees as of now. I cannot believe that there is a double elimination. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Why would they do 2 eliminations in a row with nothing in between so that the trainees could actually have a chance to, I don't know, do something? Imagine that you survived the first elimination from round 3 only to find out that there is another elimination waiting for you and you're really eliminated now. I would be so annoyed and angry. We are now on episode 9, and this entire episode was just an elimination. There were no performances, no fun filler parts, literally nothing. The overall rankings for all the missions was revealed, and of course, Team Rhythm is 1st, Groove is 2nd, and Team Beat is 3rd. So the ranking was not fun at all to see. 7 members will pass from each team, and since Rhythm is in 1st place, 5 will be chosen by fan votes. Groove is in 2nd, so 3 will be chosen by fan votes, and Beat is in last, so 1 will be chosen by fan votes. It was so obvious to know who was going to pass because we know the popular trainees in each of these teams, and we also learned about their rankings in episode 8. However, one thing I was surprised about was that Kenta's overall ranking is number 12. He's not gonna make the cut. I need Kenta to debut, please. I cannot believe he's 12. Ju Young got 2nd in Groove and 10th overall. This man has barely any screen time in the entire show, and he did not perform at all in round 3. I cannot believe his fan base is that solid that they kept voting for him, because all I remember about him is the performance during Universe Holiday, and that's it. Team Rhythm's top 5 was very obvious, but the most exciting thing was seeing JL got 1 million votes. That's insane. Next, we have the mentor picks, and they were allowed to choose any trainee regardless of team, which I thought was nice at least. Team Rhythm had 2 spots for mentor picks, and Ten and Yang Yang really chose to save Jongwoo out of all the other possible trainees. I thought this was such a weird pick, especially since they don't even know him personally. He wasn't on their team at all. And I think they just chose him because they know the new voting system will be in their favor if they have another trainee that's popular with a fandom that's willing to vote. I really cannot think of any other reason why they would choose him. Team Beat had 6 spots to choose, and the only surprises were Sirin and Zenzen because I did not expect Team Beat to choose them. However, I'm very happy that they survived because they are amazing vocalists and very good performers. I swear I don't think I've seen Zenzen not smiling during this show. He just gives off such a positive vibe, and I love that for him. About their choices, Team Beat also saved Kim Dong-yoon, and I don't know what's going on with him because he was taken by Team Rhythm only to be given away again, and then finally saved by Team Beat. I don't know what the other mentors are seeing in him because I really don't remember much about his performances at all. Maybe they just know something special about him because I don't see it. I'm just so sad for Baejae-ho. He was my cute little bean. He really looked like that meme of the puppy covering their face with their paw. He was so cute. So sad. To conclude, the trade tickets were absolutely worthless and a waste of time in episode 8. If SBS was planning a double elimination the entire time, why would they do this? The trainees that survived round 3 were literally given no chance to possibly survive the second elimination because there was nothing for them to do. They just had to wait and sit like ducks for their elimination. I think this was just unnecessarily cruel and stupid. Furthermore, I do not like this new voting system. We can only vote for one person from one team, and that's it. So this means only one team will be debuting in the end, unless SBS throws us another surprise. We can all agree that Team Rhythm is probably going to be in first place, because JL got 1 million votes. So clearly, Team Rhythm has a majority of the popular trainees, and that's going to help them a lot in the voting. The only thing I can hope for is that they add some members from Team Groove and Team Beat, because we know that they don't really stand a chance with the online voting. If they are really following the American football concept, I'm going to need them to debut 11 members, because that's how many are in a lineup for a starting team. If they're not gonna debut 11, how about we debut 12? We need another IZ*ONE. We have Team Rhythm, they have 7 members, all of them can debut. And then Team Groove will be in second place. Take 3 from Team Groove. And then Team Beat will be in last place. Take 2 from Team Beat, and we have an amazing 12-person lineup. I need Team Rhythm, plus Pakhan, plus Kenta, plus Hanso, plus Ungi, and Kairi, and that would be an amazing lineup. Please vote for your faves because the finale is literally Friday, and we want a good lineup, please. See you guys after the debut announcement. Bye! Hello, can we have a quick interview? Yes, of course. Can you briefly introduce yourself and your team name? Hello, I'm Steven of the newly debuted group, Ahof. Now, how do you spell that? A-H-O-F. Does the name have any special meaning? Yes, it's an acronym for All-Time Hall of Famer, and it's spelled the same as 9 in Korean, to represent our 9 members. Wow, that is so beautiful. We're running out of time. Do you have any last thoughts for your fans? I want to thank my friends, family, and my members, and we will strive to live up to our name and join the K-pop Hall of Fame. Thank you so much, Ahof. Ahof. Hi, I'm back for the final episode of Universeleague and to reveal my last thoughts on the entire series. And let's start with the group name. Woo! I swear I really do not vibe with this name at all. All-time Hall of Famer. Imagine having to introduce that every single time they have to go somewhere on a TV show, on an interview, on a variety show. They have to explain that name every single time. You know, at least it's the acronym AHOF and not like Tomorrow by Together where they have to say the full name every single time. However, I think it's just not a great name at all. I mean, we have two other groups that recently debuted from boy group survival shows. Close Your Eyes from Project 7 and Polarix from Starlight Boys. To be honest, Polarix is my favorite out of the three because it fits with the vibe of the show. It's very short, succinct, and a clean name. Plus, an extra, it has the number of members in the name secretly mixed in because IX stands for 9 and there's 9 members in Polarix. Whereas Ahof is literally 9. Like, there's no secret, it's just 9. Why did they do that? Whoever is the creative team behind this decision, I really don't understand what you guys were thinking because... whew. Anyways, on to the final episode. I didn't really like any of the songs except for Sunset in the Sky by Team Beat. And I really hope that El Capitan continues to produce for the group because he really does make some of the best songs. Especially in the entire series, the songs that he made were my favorite. As for the debut group, of course we all knew that Team Rhythm would win because of their popularity, and the other groups didn't really stand a chance. I mean, the final group got 4 million votes, which is insane. A part of me is still sad that only 9 members debuted because I was hoping for a bigger group. But the final lineup is a group of very talented trainees. Especially since we got the vocal trio of Pakhan, JL, and Ungi, the top 3 of the entire show, really. I'm so sad for the Team Groove members and the Team Beat members. I just hope that some company comes and plucks them up so they can be in the new group. But I know that most of them are basically in their early 20s, which is not very good considering the industry loves to debut very young people. So I'm not sure how it's gonna work out for most of them since it takes a long time for companies to decide on members to debut. However, I do hope that a group like X-Love or Even comes out of the group because the trainees really were that talented and they deserve some spotlight. Now, I wasn't expecting some drama to come out after the show ended, but it happened. El Capitan decided to voice his opinions about the show after the final debut team was announced. He said that the system of the entire show was basically flawed and that Team Beat had basically no chance of winning as time went on with the missions. And up until that point, most people were agreeing with him until he said that he thought Team Beat was the best out of all 3 teams and that Team Beat did the best with performing, singing, and everything. And people were a little annoyed at him because they think that he's saying the popular group should not have debuted. I agree that the system of Universeleague was very flawed because basically only one team dominated the entire show and there were no real changes in the rankings at all, which was very boring in that aspect. But Team Rhythm and Team Groove are full of talented trainees and clearly their talent is reflected in their popularity. They aren't popular for no reason. Of course, all of them can sing and dance and perform and do everything that is needed to collect fans. I just think that his wording was a little off because it seems like he was making it out that Team Beat was this super amazing group that deserved so much more Even though Team Rhythm clearly outperformed Team Beat in many aspects, which is why so many people loved Team Rhythm so much and why they got to debut. Now people have been saying some vile things about him, even though he just voiced his own opinion. Like, are we not allowed to say what we want anymore? What is wrong with people? You can say what you want and not get death threats and evil, vicious hate for no reason at all. I just don't understand that part of the world right now at all. Just doesn't make any sense. Say your opinion, but don't attack people because they have a different opinion than you. Where's the brain cells? Clearly this man was in the show. He knows much more about what happened behind the scenes than any of us. So I'm sure he's seen the real stuff that probably annoyed him and he wanted to voice his opinion on that. So let him be. Anyways, I thought it was a very strange marketing strategy for FNF to decide to use the old Universeleague Instagram account and they just changed it into the Ahof Instagram. Why would they do that? If you scroll down on the official Ahof Instagram, you will see the old Universeleague TikToks from all the old members. Like, I think that's a little weird, and it's not even a clean feed and a fresh start. They're just using an account that was established for something else. I don't know why they would do that, but I'm excited to see their dynamic in future content, especially since the members are from all different nationalities. And I want to see them do some fun games, maybe share games from their home country and teach each other stuff in their own languages. Would be very fun. The one thing I'm very interested in is the concept of the group, because they have Daisuke, who actually sounds and looks like a baby compared to the other members that can actually do more mature concepts. So I'm curious as to what direction of music they're going with this group. But aside from that, I'm sure they're gonna do perfectly fine and they will get their fans in no time. Overall, Universeleague was a very good survival show, and we ended with a very talented lineup in the end. If they do a next season, I guess Universe Ticket Season 2, I hope that they do not follow the same system, because this system was not great. I was scrolling on Twitter and I found this video of Steven.
Cereal before milk or after? Put the milk in first, heat it up, and then put the cereal. Wait like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And it'll get nice and soggy. And then you just drink it like soup.
He likes to eat hot, soggy cereal. Is he crazy? If you do that, you are a crazy person. That is just wrong. No. No to soggy cereal. That is so wrong.